Hi and welcome to episode 20 of the 21st Century Pharmacist. I'm Billy Weiss, the 21st Century Pharmacist, and today I want to talk about something that's very practical and something that works great in the mornings to not only turn on your energy, turn on fat burning, turn on your brain so that you think clear, but is easy, quick, and can hold you right through to lunch, especially once you've adapted to the OptiU plan and you are burning fat for fuel. So this is just a really easy way to get the morning going, do it quick, and it's very healthy at the same time. So I have some ingredients here that I'm going to show you. I have a Bulletproof Swiss decaf coffee. We want Swiss decaf because we want to avoid the chemical decaffeinated coffees that are out there. And the beauty of Bulletproof coffee is that it has actually been tested for different mold toxins and mycotoxins, and so we want to get coffee that is super healthy. The majority of coffee in America, the vast majority of coffee in America actually has mold toxins in it. Then next we use Kerrygold grass-fed butter. We put that into the coffee, and I'm going to show you how we do that. We use Brain Octane, which is a C8 MCT oil, caprylic acid, great for energy, great for turning on the brain. And then we have a Vitamix to mix it in, and we have our favorite coffee cup. So we're just going to break it all down and talk about how healthy it is. We're going to talk about using the best water to make this coffee, and this is exactly how we do it at our house every day. So this is just going to be quick and easy and get you really energized and going each and every day. So the first thing that we do, and how you would want to do it, is you want to just take your butter, your Kerrygold grass-fed butter, and they recommend a tablespoon, but honestly I don't think that it's that important to measure. So I just cut off something that would be close to a tablespoonful. I throw it into my Vitamix, and I'm done with the butter. Now you probably do, especially in the beginning, want to measure the Brain Octane. Now I don't measure it anymore, I just pour it in, but for the sake of this, we want to do 1 to 2 tablespoons of Brain Octane. But if you're not used to C8 caprylic acid oil, you probably only want to start with 1 or 2 teaspoons for the first few days. Just make sure you don't have any GI upset or stomach upset, and then you can slowly increase to 1 tablespoon, and then you'll be able to do even more. Sometimes if you do too much of the C8 too quickly, we can get some gut issues, just a little nausea and a little pain and maybe some diarrhea. So let's just avoid it. Let's just start small. But for today, I'm going to measure 1 tablespoon. And I typically, again, don't measure. I just pour it in, and I probably do more than a tablespoonful most days. So that's what I want. So I have my high-quality fats in my butter and my Brain Octane that can start the fat-burning process, that can help detox the liver, that can help turn on the brain function. It actually is the most efficient fuel for our bodies, is to burn fat, as I've talked about a lot. So we're trying to make sure we get that. Then I have a mold-free, mold-tested, mycotoxin-tested coffee that is Swiss water decaf that has lots of polyphenols, or think antioxidants, think colorful vegetables. So coffee actually has high amounts of polyphenols. And when I go over to the coffee maker, I'm going to use a metal filter. And so the metal filters are actually shown in the studies to help the polyphenols be even more effective in the coffee, whereas the other filters, the paper filters, can reduce the polyphenol amount. So again, if I'm going to do this, I want to make sure that I get the most benefit out of it. And so just little things like what kind of filter I use, what kind of water I use, we're going to get into that next. Okay, so the first thing that I do when we make the Bulletproof coffee here at the house is we get the Kangen water out of our Kangen machine. We're using 9.5 Kangen water, and if you're just making 1 cup, like for the example I'm going to do today, I normally wouldn't put it in the cup and measure it. I know how much it holds, but just to make it easy and simple, I can fill up my Kangen water, however much water I want in my favorite coffee cup. Then I'm just going to pour it right into my coffee pot. And as I do this, I'm going to grind my coffee beans. We like to use the beans because we just think that we get more value, but there is a ground Bulletproof decaf coffee also, but we use decaf beans. So little noise here while I do this. All right, so there's that. I'm gonna take my coffee grounds. I'm gonna pour them into my metal filter. Just tap those in there. Then I'm just gonna simply turn on my coffee maker. Once the coffee's made, we'll go over and show you exactly what we do from there. Okay, so just a couple minutes later, my coffee's ready. I just take it off my coffee maker and simply pour it into my Vitamix or whatever blender you would like that has your brain octane and your grass-fed butter already there. So then we're gonna go over and blend it from here. Okay, so now I'm just gonna take and I'm gonna blend for, 20, 30 seconds, even up to a minute, whatever you like. And the butter and the brain octane are gonna act like a creamer. And then I'm going to show you what that looks like. But one good thing about a Vitamix, and one thing you need to know when you're putting hot coffee into a blender, is you really want something with a vent at the top. So this is a vented lid. If you don't, you have to be super careful because this thing can explode when you go to open it up. So like if you use a like one of those blenders with a top on it, like a Bullet blender, just be super careful. It's not what we recommend. You need something with a vent, and if you don't have a vent on your blender, just be super careful, and you maybe even can tip the lid up. Just don't go really fast with it because you'll see that it'll rise, and we don't want to throw the brain octane and the butter and the coffee all over the cabinets and the ceiling, whatever. So we want to keep from making a mess, and we don't want it to explode when we open it up. So it's pretty simple. I'm just going to use my Vitamix. I'm going to let it run for 10, 15 seconds. I know it's super loud. That's what does the trick. You can see that I have a coffee now that was really dark, and now it looks like it has creamer in it. But we don't want to use a dairy creamer of any kind, because when we do that, we actually will bind some of the polyphenols with the dairy, and the body will have to metabolize the dairy. By blending the butter and the brain octane and the coffee together, we're putting in fat calories, which creates almost no insulin response. So it doesn't create the kind of response that says store fat. It actually creates a response with my hormones that says burn fat. When I add dairy or something like that to it, I change that response. The other thing that a lot of people do is you can add some of our grass-fed collagen protein to this if you need something for a pick-me-up in the afternoon or something. We don't recommend it necessarily in the mornings, again, because that's going to create a metabolism issue that just these ingredients you saw today does not. Okay, so now that I've gotten everything blended, all I'm going to do is carefully take the lid off. I'm going to pour it into my favorite coffee cup, and I have a great energizing morning, afternoon, even evening, because I don't have caffeine. I only have natural energy through the fat and through the polyphenols in the coffee. So I'm not speeding my heart rate. I'm not creating any of those issues. I'm creating very little insulin response because I'm getting good fat. It's a great way to start the mornings. It's a great way to combine this after you've had, we suggest maybe a quart of Kangen water first thing in the morning. And this is just a good way to keep everything going. You'll feel great, and it really is a really good treat. Make sure it cools a little bit, obviously, but it tastes great, and it's something that we use in our house all the time. So just try it. I know it sounds a little bit wacko to add butter and brain octane or coconut oil type stuff to your coffee, but it really does for coffee people who love their coffee connoisseurs. They're like, wow, that's a great creamer. I'm not necessarily a person who loves coffee. As a matter of fact, I never drank coffee before I started researching and found the benefits of doing this type of coffee. And it really does give me energy, and it really does help me think to make shows like this and to do my consults and to teach my classes. So it's a great thing to do, and we want to make it really simple. It literally takes 5 minutes to make this, so you can be out the door and gone with lots of energy. Thanks, and we'll see you next time. So we just have to, I tell people all the time, 7 out of 10 Americans are overweight. Almost 4 out of 10 Americans are obese. That's 30 pounds or more overweight. But we keep following the same stuff. If we keep following the same stuff, y'all know the definition of insanity, right? Same thing over and over, expect a different result. It's not going to happen. You got to make changes to make changes.